Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka, and today I want to talk to you about PUBG Mobile's weapon numbers, particularly those with the 5.56 ARs. And I just want to let you know, this is my first ever game of hard mode. I'm a big fan of hard mode, and I'm going to be doing a video on that in a very, very short period of time. But suffice to say, I'm a bit of a soundaholic when it comes to playing, and hard mode was made for llamas like me. Anyway, so this video is going to be quite simple. It's going to be quite quick, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I think are really, really important. And I want to bust some of the myths that seem to be all over the community. I post these videos up, and sometimes I'll get idiots that'll pop into the video and they'll say, unfortunately, you're incorrect. And no, the M416 is the fastest firing AR. It's just rubbish. I'm going to show you some things. And the whole thing that got me started here is some bloke had a go at me for this and said in the armory, it said XYZ. Now, the armory will tell you that the SCAR-L has a slower rate of fire than the other 5.56 ARs. And it will give you power and recoil and firing speed and all that. It's all a load of bollocks. The M416, the SCAR-L, the AUG, the QBZ. Look, I'm just going to show you this and then you can make up your own mind. That is the AUG, the M416, the QBZ and the SCAR-L, and they are all firing at exactly the same rate. It takes 2.53 seconds for all four of those guns to fire off 30 rounds from a magazine of 5.56. All four of the guns do exactly the same damage to a level 2 vest, and they all do 40 base damage to a no armored chest area on a player model. I'm just going to play you my first solo versus squad game from the new patch here while well, part of it anyway, while I talk to you about this. And it's important to me because I'm kind of sick of the people who just come into a thread and say, you're incorrect, that's not right. And they've got no basis for it, and they don't understand. And there's guys that came in and said that I didn't talk enough about the M16A4 and its single shot capacity, because it really is no different to everything else. The M16A4 and the M416 and the QBZ, and they don't do more damage. Like, it's not the same as PC, guys. None of the stats are the same as PC. And if you are just looking at the PC spreadsheets and wondering why I'm saying these things, you need to get past that, and you need to start understanding that PUBG Mobile is its own game. It borrows completely from PUBG PC, but it doesn't import all the same numbers. And that's very, very important. And it's one of the reasons why you can run a SCAR-L, you can run a QBZ, you can run an M416. They are all going to do exactly the same damage at exactly the same rate of fire. The real reason the M416 is so amazing is that it gets to run a tactical stock, and it's the only one of them that gets to run a tactical stock. But that doesn't mean there's no differences in the recoil. Obviously, there is differences in the recoil profile of these weapons. I mean, you just have to fire them to know that. But the SCAR-L and the QBZ, for instance, is incredible at 3 times with a 3 times scope with the compensate and a half grip on it, and it will do crazy things. It will hit all kinds of burst fired at range. Like, I did a video on the QBU, and the QBU is listed as having, in the armory, is listed as having the same recoil as the Mini 14, and that's just not true. But the QBU does 54 base damage to a no vest wearing target, and the Mini 14 does 45. And a lot of people have told me that they'd prefer to run an M16A4 over the Mini 14 as a secondary sniper weapon, and that's just insane. The Mini 14 has a much higher shell velocity, which means you don't need to lead targets. It's got 5 more damage to a base target, which means 5 damage out of 40 is a whole hell of a lot. That's 20% of your damage. It does 20% more damage to a no chest wearing target, and it's got no recoil versus an M16A4. But people just say this stuff, and it's like crazy to me when you don't actually look. And I've looked at all the numbers. And if you want these numbers, they're in a spreadsheet on my channel. It's not complete, and I need to take some time this season to actually complete it. But the numbers are there. Like, it will tell you the base damage numbers for all these guns in the game. You just join my Discord channel. Its link is in the description below, and you can actually see these numbers and figure it all out for yourself. Like, Mark 14 is still, for me, the craziest AR in the game. It does 60 base damage, and it fires as fast as an AKM, which does 47 base damage. I mean, these are the things that you should know when you're picking the weapons up, because they're the important parts of the gun. And then you start looking at other stuff, like why I prefer the UMP over pretty much every other SMG, and most of the time I'll take it over any gun outside of, say, I don't even want to get into it, but the UMP has an incredible recoil profile, right? And that's nothing to do with the damage of the weapon. You've got to be able to hit your shots. And the UMP hits all its shots. I hope that was a little bit of a myth buster for you, and I hope it outlined exactly why I think it's important that we find these numbers and we figure out what's going on with them, because it makes it easy to choose the correct weapon for the right situation. And if not, well, at least you got to hear me whinge. Great to be out in new season. I played hardcore mode today, won my first game in hardcore. Big flex. And I love it. I wish it was FPP. If it was first person, I would play it every single time, because that is just glorious. Being able to smash people with stealth and guile and not have to worry about footsteps and hit markers was awesome. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Lots more footage coming up on channel. Don't miss out. I'm going to try and see if I can get a stream of the finals of the Stars tournament, because I'd like to do my own audio for the stream. That would be cool. Anyway, talk to you soon, guys. Look after yourselves, and until next time, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.